There are tremendous risks to the organization in terms of liabilities. Think about the risks that exist today for the business if AI makes a decision that they cannot explain.
We have to pay attention.
I'd like to welcome Ritika Gunnar from IBM. You're the VP of Watson AI. Thank you for joining us in our interview series here at the AI Summit in San Francisco.
Thank you, Bill. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to be able to have this conversation with you today.
Cool, great. So IBM made a big announcement today, and it was on the trust and transparency for AI in the IBM cloud. Tell me about it.
You know, we think about AI and the black box problem. How do you give the business a view of that black box to make them feel comfortable? Think about the risks that exist today for the business if AI makes a decision that they cannot explain. There are tremendous risks to the organization in terms of liabilities, in terms of not being able to have answers to things that others will ask, how did you come to that decision? So as part of this announcement, there are a few capabilities. First is bias. And not only the detection of bias for kind of societal bias attributes that you would think of, like gender, like age, like ethnicity, and things like that. But in a real business scenario, there are other things that are attributes
so
of
many.
And it's not just about bias that exists at build time. How do you detect that bias at runtime? When a prediction is actually happening, how do you actually detect that that is actually happening? Even more than that, then, it is, I've detected that bias, how am I going to go mitigate that? How am I going to go fix that for the organization?
And is this a service that IBM is offering, or is this a widget that IBM is selling?
It is a service on the IBM cloud.
Very good. Okay, so that was number one, was bias. What was number two?
Explainability. So I've detected bias, there's some transactions there, and think about a very simple scenario of a mortgage approval process. You have denied my mortgage approval. Why did you deny that? You know, in the age of compliance and regulations, especially with things like GDPR, it's important for you to say, I took customers' data, I made a decision based on that data. You need to be able to explain the decision that you made. What factors went into you approving and not approving, and how much weight did they really carry on the decision that was made? And so explainability is a second really important factor in the transparency of how AI is run.
So I think this is really exciting. Do you have a use case or a sector that you think that this is going to be so important to in the very near term?
AI is used everywhere, and where AI is actually used and where you're actually making decisions based on that AI, where there are mission critical implications of getting that wrong, or mission critical impacts of the business to be able to have that transparency to the AI, it's essential.
Well, I like that the process that you've announced today, or the product that you've announced today, involves both the identification of the problem, but also the explanation of the problem. I mean, it's really nice to roll those two things out
as that
together.
transaction's happening. Let's add that third piece, because having these kind of capabilities as you're building your model, which, you know, some of these exist today, is one thing. Doing it when you're actually running in a system as part of a workflow is extremely important.
And I know that, so I've read that IBM has productized Watson, right? Like, you've made it something that people can think of as a singular product. Does this all fall under the Watson umbrella?
We are very understanding of the fact that it is not just our AI, Watson, that is being used on the market. If you look at all the different types of open source frameworks that are out there, IDEs that are out there, it is a plethora of them, and we aim to be able to serve all of them. So the capabilities that we're bringing out to market are not just for Watson only. It is for all types of AI out there, and therefore it is not Watson specific, which is why we call them trust and transparency capabilities. It is for your AI, which I think is a very critical component in the market. It's not just us, it is what you're doing.